one or two, and that's it. Nowadays, we have more pluck string instrument, 5 or 8. They just expand. And there is a musician, surnamed Ran, is really good at playing this instrument. So the emperor says like, hey, since you're really good at this, let's just name this instrument with your surname. So this is how the Ran got his name, Ran. So a Ran, like we have a round sound box, and then we have 4 strings. I always said it's like a kind of Chinese guitar in a sense. So what you do is like you put your fingers on top of the fret and you pluck to produce sound. Usually back in 50s, Ran is considered more like a middle range instrument, so there's not a lot of like solo pieces and whatnot. And with development and improvement in making of the instrument, we actually got some love from composers worldwide and get more like solo features and being introduced into orchestra for various uses. But still, I would say the Ran is still a very main force in the middle range section, kind of that glues everything together. From the pieces that you have heard, you can mostly hear from Gavin and Mike for playing the main melody, and sometimes I kind of intrude myself into it and play a little bit like counter melody and whatnot. But in the next piece called so it's like a Taiwanese folk song, and then what it describes as it's gonna rain. So what do you do when it rains? What do? Run, right? Try to seek shelter. So you can kind of imagine the scene is like, it's gonna rain, so we're trying to seek shelter. So it's more like, I need to rush a little bit. And pluck string instrument is really good having that short note to kind of have that urgency. And before we proceed, I would love to introduce Rosie. Like you probably hear Rosie start the concert tonight. So it's weird. In a sense, like, Rosie's playing a cello, right? Question, philosophical question. Is cello a Chinese musical instrument? Now that it's in the Chinese ensemble. Very interesting, right? So funny enough, like in a lot of Chinese musical setting, when we played in an ensemble setting, we don't actually have a cello or bass or an equivalent musical instrument, so to speak. So it's sometimes really thin in terms of like musical presentation. So oftentimes nowadays, we introduce like cellos, basses to our Chinese musical world to help like thicken and help us hold down to our beats and whatnot. So Rosie plays a very important instrument and part in our pieces. So thank you so much, Rosie. Glad to have you. So next piece is called Tino.